Hello, mother rays of sunshine. How are you all doing out there today? I'm Michelle the Introvert, and once again, I'm in my kitchen, and I have a fairly big kitchen project that I'm going to be working on over the next couple of days. See this chicken right here? This is a whole chicken. I have some projects for this chicken where I'm going to be able to stretch out the food and stretch out the dollar. And today, this chicken is on the menu for our supper tonight. So if you're interested, my friends, please come on along. The first step, of course, is to cook this chicken. And today I'm going to be cooking it in my slow cooker. And I have some onions taken out of my freezer that I'm going to be using. Just going to add onions and water to the slow cooker and get the chicken started. I'm not going to be adding any spices, well, maybe a little bit of salt and pepper. But besides that, I'm not going to be adding any spices to the crock pot or the slow cooker because of the projects that I'm going to be needing the chicken for tomorrow. So tonight we're going to be having some of the chicken, and tomorrow there are two projects I'll be doing where I'll be needing some of this chicken. There's my chicken. It's in the slow cooker, and I put in the frozen onions, and there's quite a bit of water in there. I'm just about to put some salt and pepper in, and then I'm going to put the lid on, the cover on. So I'll cook that on high for about an hour, and then put it on low and just let it cook till it's done. Actually, it'll be done before supper, so that'll be nice. So I'll let that get cooking, and then I'll come back to you in just a little while. Here I am, I'm back, and the chicken is really doing well. It's been cooking in the slow cooker for a few hours now. It's on low. I had it on high for, I'd say, about an hour and a half, and now it's at the low temperature. I am pleased to say that it is doing quite well. And the onions smell really nice. They definitely add a nice flavor and smell in my kitchen. I took these rolls out of my freezer so that we can have them with our supper tonight. For Thanksgiving, I made a whole bunch of rolls and I put the extras in the freezer. So I thought, well, we can have some with our supper tonight. So here they are, thawing out. And while I've been patiently waiting for the chicken to cook, I thought that I'd take a little bit of time today to practice my muffin making skills. If you hear some sounds, it's actually some men. They have arrived with some scaffolding and they've been putting it up against the side of the house. Where I live, I rent. In the apartment here that I live, I rent. So the office has sent these men to work on the roof of my apartment. So they're just starting to do their work now. So if you hear extra noises, it's just the guys outside getting some work done. Here are the muffins for today. And these are apple cinnamon zucchini muffins. And I'm still learning and practicing how to make muffins without them collapsing. Lately, I've had no luck with muffins. They've been collapsing, but these ones didn't do too bad this time. I checked the ingredients that I use, and they're not expired. Today, I turned up the heat in my oven, and I let my muffins bake a little bit longer than I normally do, and they are actually not flat like pancakes like they normally are. They're actually a lot better than what I'm used to seeing them, but I'll keep practicing. Maybe next time I will increase the temperature in my oven just a little bit more, just a tad bit more, and maybe they'll be nicely rounded just a little bit more if I do that. I've tasted those muffins, and they taste really, really good. But as you can see, I'm quite warm. The oven's been on and my windows are closed so that I don't get dust or anything in the house from the windows as the men are working. My chicken is coming along really well, and very shortly I'm going to peel some potatoes so I can make mashed potatoes, and I'm going to make some homemade gravy. I have a Tupperware container or two where I can make some homemade gravy. And I'm going to cook up some vegetables for our supper tonight. So I think that'll taste really, really nice. All is going well in my kitchen, my friends. And I have here my mug. It was filled with water up to about here, but now it's down to about here. And I think I need to refill it. I was able to open up these windows on this side because the men put the scaffolding up on that side, that wall of the house. But on this wall of the house, there's no scaffolding, so I was able to open up the windows over on this side just to cool things down a little bit. The little breeze coming through the windows feels nice, and I actually think the men went home for supper, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're here bright and early tomorrow morning to get some more work done. But as for me in the kitchen, I've been getting some work done too. The chicken is almost finished. Here's another quick peek of how the chicken is doing. And I put my fork in there. You can see the fork marks just to see how it's cooking through. And the chicken won't be long before it's cooked. When the chicken is cooked, I'll take it out of the hot water that's in the slow cooker, put it on a plate, and then just debone it really quick. And then once it's cooled down after supper, I'm going to put it in this lovely Tupperware container. This was actually given to me by 3 viewers, and they sent me a big box of vintage Tupperware, and this was one of the beauties that was in this box. It was Douglas, Carol, and Jim who gave me this wonderful vintage Tupperware for chicken and turkey, and also their 2 dogs, Murray and Teddy. And thank you again, my friends, so much for the wonderful box you had sent me around Christmas time last year. And I use this all the time. I use it for my turkey, I use it for ham, I use it for chicken, I use it for everything. So I thank you again, my friends. And this is what it looks like inside. This here comes out. And it looks like this inside. Very, very nice. I love this. Anything that you all give me for Tupperware, really anything that you give me as gifts, I always use. And I definitely use this, and I'll definitely be using this tonight. Also, I have another thing of Tupperware here, and this is going to be what I use to make my gravy. This was actually given to me by my stepmother. Thank you, Willie. Thanks, Wilma. Appreciate it. I use this all the time as well to make my homemade gravy. So now it's just a waiting time for me. The chicken is almost done, and it won't be long, and I'll have the vegetables cooking for supper, and then I'll show you what our dinner looks like. Supper is ready and everybody has their plates of food, and here is mine. It looks delicious. So that is project number 1 for the chicken projects. That's complete, and I just have 2 more to go, and I will finish them up tomorrow. So how about I see you all tomorrow morning? Sound good? See you in the morning, my friends. Good morning, wakey wakey, rise and shine, it's coffee time. And you'll probably hear some noises today as we continue with the chicken project. I'm starting with chicken project number 2, and the men are on the roof. They came back quite early this morning. They came probably about 8 o'clock this morning, and now it's almost 9 o'clock, so they've been busy. So if you hear some men's voices or some different sounds and some maybe loud thumps once in a while, don't mind it. The men are just very, very busy working on the roof of this apartment building. So my friends, how about we get started with our project? So the next project is, well, I've got all of the chicken broth in here where I cooked the chicken yesterday in the slow cooker, and I saved it all. And so it's in this Tupperware bowl. I put it in my fridge overnight last night. And I also saved the water that I cooked the green and yellow beans in and the mixed vegetables. I saved all of that water because it has vitamins and nutrients in it. And I added that to the chicken broth. Now I've also strained the chicken broth because I don't want any bones or little pieces of bone in the chicken broth. So that was all strained last night. So now we are ready. We can continue on with our project. So the next thing I want to do, and see the pot back there, my little stock pot, I'm going to be making a large cream of chicken soup today. Now when I looked at the prices of cream of chicken soup in the stores, or even cream of broccoli or cream of mushroom or any of those different types of cream soups in the store, the prices have like doubled, tripled. They're really expensive now to buy, unless they drop the sales, drop the prices and have a sale. That's when I kind of buy them. But lately they've been just really, really high in the price. So I thought I better make my own homemade cream of chicken soup. So that's what I'm going to do, my friends. So that's project number 2, is to make a big batch of cream of chicken soup. So I put the chicken broth, well, I put about 10 cups of chicken broth in this pot, and I put about 10 cups of boiling water in this pot as well. But before I did that, I skimmed off the excess fat off of the chicken broth from last night when it was in my Tupperware bowl. This one here. I just skimmed the fat off the very, very top because I didn't want this to have too much fat in it. So I've got the chicken broth in there. I often add water just to dilute it a little bit, and plus it stretches things out, you know, financially it stretches things out, but it still has a lot of the chicken flavor. So this is just a very, very basic cream of chicken soup. It's not an expensive recipe, that's for sure. And I'll show you the spices on the counter that's going to go in this pot here. There's some paprika, poultry spice, a little bit of salt and pepper to go in. There's also some garlic powder, parsley flakes, and some onion powder as well. I've just taken out my little Tupperware measuring spoons that I'm going to need to get all of those spices measured up. Mostly these are Tupperware. There's some that are not Tupperware, but this is what I put my little measuring spoons in, is this Tupperware container. But I keep them all together. It makes it easier for me to get to these. So I'm gonna get going, my friends, and do some math and calculate up the right amount and measurements for each of those spices, and we'll put them in the pot, and then I'll meet you again at that time. All the spices are measured up. I just turned the stove on, and now I'm just gonna get this all stirred up and put the lid on, put the cover on to let that simmer for a little while. Let's take a look at how this is doing in here. We've got a rolling boil happening there, and the spices are all mixed in, so that looks pretty good. I have a different spoon here, and this is what the soup looks like so far. Everything is dissolved, all the spices are dissolved. And I just turned the stove off for a moment before I add the milk and the cream and the flour. Here's what it looks like. It turned out beautiful. My cream of chicken soup. And there's some spices floating around the top. I've taste tested this, and Joshua has taste tested this, and it tastes very, very good. It's just a very basic cream of chicken soup. one that I can use for recipes and casseroles and other items that I might need at supper time. Or also it also makes a really good soup base for things like this over here. I'll show you. I added some of that there to this here. And this looks really terrific for Joshua and I for our lunch today. It turned out beautiful. And with the chicken and the vegetables, and I've tasted this and it tastes really, really good. So this will be perfect for Joshua and I for our lunch today. And if there's any leftover, we'll have some for tomorrow too. I'm sure there'll be some leftovers. I'm so happy that I got both of these soups done this morning. And before I start on the last and final project for today, which would be project number 3, I'm gonna wash up some of these dishes here, put some of them in the dishwasher, and just kind of tidy up my kitchen a little bit. And that way, when I start project number 3, everything will be a little bit more organized. I got my cleaning all done, so I feel very good about that. I'm all caught up on the dishes, washing the dishes by hand, and there are some dishes in the dishwasher. When I'm finished with the last project of today, I'll put the dishwasher on. But it's been very productive here this morning. And there's some of my cream of chicken soup right there. I'm going to be using some of this here in the last project for today. And then what I don't use in the last project for today, project number 3, I'll be putting in freezer containers and putting them in the freezer for a later time. There's lunch for Joshua and I. And this roasting pan here, that is going to be used for the last and final project, and that's why it's sitting there on my countertop. I have some egg noodles waiting for me to cook them up, and I have some of the chicken that I cooked last night. Well, all of the chicken that's left from last night is right in there. I'll be using all of that up today for the last project. And the cheese I'll be grating. That'll be going into this next and last project. And there's some things from my freezer here. I've got shredded yellow squash, I have zucchini, I have onions, all taken from my freezer, all shredded, ready to go. Shredded carrots, and I'll be using the leftovers from last night. Not the mashed potatoes, but all the other vegetables that you see there will be going into the last and final project. And there's my green Tupperware bowl. And the last and final project for today, project number 3, is a chicken casserole. And I'm going to make enough for tonight's supper and tomorrow night's supper. And that's where my homemade cream of chicken soup will come in handy again today. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and Joshua and I have had our lunch, and I have all of the leftover cream of chicken soup. I have them in these containers here. There's 3 containers. I just have to label them and put them in the freezer. And this isn't very hot. I can pick it up easily. But our supper is done for tonight. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and supper is done. So tonight at 5 it's going to make for an easy supper. Just have to put some of this in the microwave for everybody. And it looks like there'll be enough for us to have some for our supper tomorrow night too. Very, very easy. Although the past couple of days have been very, very busy, it's nice that I won't have to worry about cooking too much tomorrow. So this is very good. And I am so glad that you kept me company, my friends, the past couple of days. Thank you very much, and if you like this vlog, please give me the YouTube thumbs up or press that subscribe button. That would be great. And I have more vlogs coming up, so stay tuned. And I'll talk to you all soon. Talk to you soon, my friends. Bye. Bye.